Okay, this is your test review for your Unit 3 test, Rational Number Operation. So number 1, how many 2/3 cup servings are in 6 cups containers of juice? So if I have 6 cups, and I break them into thirds, I want to see how many two-thirds I can get out of them. Here is 1 2/3. Here is a 2/3 there. So that's 2 so far. 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I put some other 2/3 together?
Yes.
That's 1 2/3 here. Here's another 2/3. And here's another 2/3. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my answer is 9. But there's another way we can do it without drawing all this. What did I do to this problem? I divided them up. So my answer is going to be 6 divided by 2/3. This is where you multiply by the reciprocal. Remember, to divide fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. I have to put my 6 into fraction form. 6 times 1. I'm going to multiply. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. To make it simple, we are going to cross simplify first. Before we go and multiply, we're going to cross simplify. What can I divide 2 and 6 both by? 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now I can multiply. 3 times 3 is
9.
1 times 1 is
1.
So my answer is 9. Let's say I did not cross simplify. I just did 6 times 3.
18.
18. 1 times 2.
2.
What is 18 over 2? 9. So I still will get the right answer.
These are actually easy ones.
Okay, so let's look at the next one. Find the quotient. This is division. I am going to divide. So this is 3/8. And remember, to divide, you multiply by the reciprocal. I multiply. The reciprocal of 6/3 is 3/6. I am going to look diagonal. What can I divide 3 and 6 both by? 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 8 and 3. I cannot divide anything by 8 and 3, so I'm going to leave it alone. So now I'm just going to multiply across. 1 times 3 is
3.
8 times 2.
16.
So my answer is
3/16,
which is A. Number 3, find the quotient. 3 and 44 hundredths divided by 4. your first number is going to go into the division box. So 3.44 is going to go in the side. 4 is going to go on the outside. This is a whole number, so I don't have to do any movement on my decimal. I have to bring my decimal straight up here. Can 4 go into 3?
No.
Can 4 go into 34?
Yes.
How many times?
8.
8 times. 8 times 4 is
32.
34 minus 32 is 2. Now I bring down my 4. 4 will go into 24.
6.
6 times 4? 24. So I get decimal 86. Is that one of my answer choices?
Yes.
It is B. Number 4, evaluate 5x. This is 5 times x. When they are next to each other, that means you are multiplying. This is 5 times x. And they tell us x is 3.8. So this is 5 times 3.8. 3.8 times 5. 5 times 8 is 40. I put my 0. I carry my 5. 4. I'm sorry. I carry my 4. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 4 is 19. I have one number after my decimal here. So I have to have one number after my decimal in my product. So one number and then a decimal. If you did not do that, if you did not put your decimal in the correct place, is that answer here?
No.
Yeah, yes, 190 is here. It's one of the answer choices. So my answer is D, 19. So I do not have to add the 0. So this is 19. Now, number 5. If 2 friends equally share a bag of pretzels that costs $3.90, how much should each person pay? Let's look at this and think about it. Which ones can we automatically get rid of?
D and B.
D and B, because I know I'm not going to pay $19 to share pretzels that cost $3.90. And 20 cents, if 2 of us did that, that would just be 40 cents. So when you do this, you are narrowing down your chances of getting it correct. You have a 50-50 chance now getting it correct. So $3.90. And we are sharing it with someone, so that means we are dividing. 2 will go into 3 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. 19. 2 will go into 19 how many times?
9.
9 times 2 is 18. 19 minus 18 is 1. I bring down my 0. 2 will go into 10.
5.
So my answer is
1.95.
find the equivalent expression for 7 3/4 divided by 7/12. Is it asking us to solve it? No, we're just going to start to solve it. So the first thing what we're going to do is 4 times 7, 28 plus 3,
31.
which is 31. And my denominator is going to stay the same. My denominator is 4, so it's going to stay 4. I am going to multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 7/12 will be 12/7. So my answer is A. Okay, so which expression best describes the results of the operation shown? Let me give you a hint. When you multiply by less than 1, your answer is smaller. Whatever you're multiplying, your answer is smaller. When you multiply by greater than 1, your answer is bigger. So looking at this, look at this number. Is 11/12 smaller than 1? Smaller than 1. So my answer is going to be smaller. It means it's going to be smaller than 15. So it's whatever you multiply by, it's going to be smaller than that. So my answer is going to be smaller than 15. Which one of these says smaller than 15?
A.
A.
So A.
So less than 15. So if I do something like 17 times 15/3, is my answer going to be bigger or smaller than 17? Is this bigger or smaller than 1? 15/3.
Smaller.
15/3 is bigger than 1. What is 15 divided by 3?
15 divided by 3.
15/3 is bigger than 1, right? It's actually 5. So 17 times 5 is going to be bigger than 17. So if you're multiplying by something bigger than 1, your answer is going to be bigger. If you're multiplying by something smaller than 1, your answer is going to be smaller. So number 8, Roberta has 6 1/4 foot of wood to make wooden boxes. She is going to saw the wood into 1/4 pieces. Which equation shows how many pieces of wood she will have? So think about it. If I have this wood and it is 6 1/4, and Roberta's going to cut it into pieces, right? So what are we doing there? Are we multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting? Dividing. So 6 1/4 divided by 1 1/4. We're dividing into pieces. So let's just go ahead and try to start solving this. The first thing we need to do is put this into an improper fraction. 4 times 6 is plus 1 is, so 25/4. Then I'm going to still divide. 4 times 1 is
4.
plus 1 is,
5.
so this is 5/4. I put both of my problems into improper fractions. Now I can multiply. 25 over 4 times, multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal will be 4 over 5. So let's see. This is what I have so far. Does A match up?
No.
No, so we can get rid of that. Does B match up?
No. No.
No, because I need, this is wrong. They flipped the first one. I'm sorry, does C match up? No.
No.
Does B match up?
No.
What's wrong with B? They didn't flip it. So that is wrong. So that leaves me with D. That leaves me with D. So find the product. 4.23 times 4.7. Remember, when you are multiplying, you're lining numbers up, not decimals. You can stop the video and solve this, then restart. 7 times 1 is 21. 7 times 3, I'm sorry. 7 times 3 is 21. 1. Carry my 2. 7 times 2 is
14.
Plus 2.
16.
I'm going to carry my 1. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 1 is
29.
29. I'm going to add a 0 right here because I'm starting under the 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 2. Carry my 1. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1. 4 times 4 is 16. 1. 8. 18. Carry my 1. 3 plus 6 is 9. 1. Now I cannot forget my decimals. I have 1, 2, 3 numbers after my decimal. So in my answer, I have to have 3 numbers after the decimal. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. In my decimal. So my answer is D. Notice that some of these have the same numbers, but the decimal's in the incorrect place. Simplify the expression. Number 10. This is an order of operations. So first, I'm going to get another piece of paper and write the problem down because I don't have enough room. So 32 divided by 2 plus 6 times 4 squared minus 7. I'm going to make sure I copied it right. So there's my problem. So my order of operations is GEMDOS. Grouping exponents, multiply, divide, whichever comes first. Add, subtract, whichever comes first. So here I have some grouping. I have parentheses. So I'm going to underline the 2 plus 6, which is 8, times 4 squared minus 7, and because I'm just bringing everything else straight down. So I got rid of my grouping. Now I have exponents. 4 squared is 4 times 4. 16. Everything else is going to come straight down. Now I've gotten rid of my exponents. Now multiply, divide. As you're reading it from left to right, whichever comes first. If you see a multiplication, you do that. If you see a division, that's what you're going to do first. So 32 divided by 8. That is my first problem. 4. Everything else is going to come straight down. 32 divided by 8 was 4, and I brought everything else straight down. So I still have some multiplication. 4 times 16.
64.
64 minus 7. What is 64 minus 7?
57.
57. Notice I got smaller as I went down, more like a pizza. So now, going back to number 10, my answer was 57. So my answer is A. Number 11. If if 3 boxes weigh 53 hundredths pounds each, what is the total weight of boxes? This is a multiplication. Decimal 53 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 5 is 15. All 2 of these have the numbers correct. So, but let's look. 1, 2. I have to have 2 numbers after my decimal. 1, 2. I have 2 numbers after my decimal, so I have to put a decimal. So my answer is C. Okay, number 12. We have not done this, but I believe you can easily get it. You know what prime numbers are. You know 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. It's numbers that you can have no factors, only one in itself. So let's look at 240. We are going to make a factor tree. What 2 numbers can we multiply together to get 240?
24 times 10.
24 times 10. Now I am going to break each one of these down. How can I break 24 down? 6 times 4. How can I break 10 down?
5 times 2.
2 times 5. 2 and 5 are prime. So I'm going to circle those. How can I break 6 down?
3 times 2.
3 times 2. Those are both prime, so I'm going to circle them. Now, how can I break 4 down? 2 times 2. Those are both prime, so I'm going to circle them. So my prime factorization is 1, 2, 3, 4 2's. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Then times a 3, and then times a 5. Is there another way I can write this?
Can you teach us?
How many 2's do I have?
4.
2 to the 4th power times 3 times 5. So my answer is D. Let me give you a hint. I can automatically take 24 and 10 out because 24 is not prime, 10 is not prime. I can automatically take this one out because 15 is not prime. When I multiply 2 times 3, I get what? 6 times 5 gives me 30. Does it give me 240?
No.
So I can mark that one out. So let's go to number 13. The table shows the estimated cost of book club meeting. There are 6 members in the book club. The members' share the cost of each meeting evenly. Which fraction represents the amount of each member will pay for the room rental? So they're going to divide all of this up between the group members. So how much do they spend? $66. When you add those up, you get $66. And they're going to divide it amongst all book club members, and there were 6 of them. So I'm going to divide this by 6. What is another way I can write 66 divided by 6? 66 over 6. Remember, this is division. So number 14. Which choices give you the correct order of operation needed to find the value? So they're not asking us to solve this. They're asking us to which one we're going to do first. So we're going to do the grouping first. What's inside the grouping? Addition. So we know we're going to add. So it can't be A or C. So we just narrowed it down. So 9 divided by 3 plus 2. And we did 8 plus 5, which is 13. So now what are we going to do? Divide. 9 divided by 3 is
18.
3 minus 2 times 13. So we're dividing next. This has multiplying. So that leaves me with what?
D.
Leaves me with D. So number 15. Riley completed the following division problem incorrectly. What was Riley's error? I tell you this all the time. If I can see your work, I can see where you're making your mistake. So if I have 1/3 divided by 2, what is my first step?
You switch 1/2 of
I need to put the 2 into a fraction. Is that what they did?
No.
No, they did something weird here. So step 1 should be what? Should be A. It should be this because this is 3 over 1. We're not doing anything with 3 over 1. We don't flip the first one. So now they're asking what to solve this. So 1/3 divided by 2 over 1. So I have 1/3 times 1 over 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6. So my answer is 1/6, which is D. Becky's father drove 70 miles per hour for 7 hours. Then drove 65 miles per hour for 5 hours. How far did he drive in the first part of the trip? The first part of the trip, he drove 70 miles per hour for 7 hours. So this is going to be 70 times 7. 0 times 7 is 0. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 7 is 49. How far did he drive for the second part? 65 miles for 5 hours. Per hour for 5 hours. So this is 65 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry my 2. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. So how far did he drive in all? So this is 490 plus 325. 5, 9, 10, 11. Carry my 1. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8. So 815 miles. So on the next part, part 2, complete the table below. 2, 6. What number is my base? My exponent is 6. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is, because you can look at this. This is 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. 5 to the 4th power. 5 is my base. My exponent is 4. 5 times 5. Then 5 times 5. 25 times 25. 625. How do I write with a base of 7 and the exponent of 2? 7 to the power of 2. 7 times 7 is 49. This is 1 to the 8th power, meaning 1 times 1 times 1, that's 3, times 1 times 1 times 1, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, times 1 times 1. 1 times 1 times 1 is all going to equal 1. Becky's father drove 70 miles for 7 hours. Then he drove 65 miles for 5 hours. How far did he drive in the first part of the trip? 70. So he drove 70 miles per hour for 7 hours. So how far did they go? So 70 times 7, and I get 140. For the second part, he says he drove 65 miles per hour, and he did that for 5 hours. So what do I do there? 65 times 5. This is 325, correct?
Yes.
So how far did he travel in all? 140 plus 325. 465. Now this, I need you to really pay attention. Here, what number is my base? 2. What number is my exponent?
6.
Here, 5 to the 4th power. My base is 5. My exponent is 4. If my base here is 7 and my exponent is 2, I'm going to write 7, 2. Here, if my base is 1 to the power of 8. This is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 625. This is 7 times 7. 7 times 7 is 49. This is 1 times 1 times 1. That's 3 ones. I need 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I should have 8 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Please make sure you study for this test. This review will help you a lot if you study.